Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for your great support always. I'm so grateful for your continued support to this channel. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. There's something here I want us to look about these members of parliament who rejected not to sign and support the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua. Is there something that they do understand very well, more than even those members of parliament who are rushing to sign that impeachment motion for Rigathi Gachagua to be kicked out as the deputy president of the Republic of Kenya? Have you realized that Ndindi, NYORO, the member of parliament of Kiaru constituency, rejected the signing of the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua? Is there something that he understands very well and distancing himself from this so-called impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua? Number two, we are having Babu Owino. Babu Owino is a member of parliament from Embakasi East constituency, Nairobi County. And you do understand how Babu Owino always plays his politics. He rejected the signing of the impeachment motion of Rigathi Gachagua. The same question is there something that Babu Owino understands very well, and that is why he is distancing himself from the impeachment motion of Rigathi Gachagua? We are having also a young man from Mumias East constituency called Peter Salasia. Remember earlier on, Peter Salasia had notified the House that he was not going to be part and parcel of that discussion, that he rather spend his time with his constituents rather than going and wasting a lot of his time discussing and debating about the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua. The question is, when Peter Salasia is saying no to that discussion, is there something they are realizing and they do understand the repercussions that will come with this impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua? Remember, we are having 291 members of parliament who supported the impeachment motion of Rigathi Gachagua. The question is, after the impeachment motion tabled before the assembly, remember these members of parliament were afraid. And I heard even Farah Maalim coming out to raise this question of their security. In other words, after supporting the impeachment motion before the House, these 291 members of parliament are requesting for more securities. The question is, are they now coming out to realize what happened on date 25th of July? Not July, but rather June, where the Gen Zs stormed the street demanding the rejection of the Finance Bill 2024-2025 financial year. Immediately, these members of parliament said yes for the Finance Bill 2024-2025 financial year. You saw what happened, you saw what happened when the Gen Zs stormed the parliament. Then after that, these Gen Zs decided to greet these members of parliament. Some of them even forced themselves to hide, because if they were going to have contact with Gen Zs, they were going to be greeted. You do remember what happened with the Molo member of parliament, Kimani Kuria, whom his house was destroyed, Let me generalize, his home was destroyed. You saw even chicken burnt, Look at the office of Kimani Ichung'wah in Kikuyu constituency, the same thing. And several members of parliament were greeted by the Gen Zs. The question is, as they are impeaching Rigathi Gachagua, does it mean that these members of parliament who are distancing themselves from this impeachment, they are rewinding and remembering what happened during the Gen Z demonstration? Does it mean that if Rigathi Gachagua is going to be kicked out, then there is a blame that is going to be mounted on them, you know. But again, remember one thing. People like Ndindi NYORO, they are having their ambitions in 2027. Of course, generally political ambition in 2027. And so if they are going to engage themselves with this kind of ugly scenarios, might mount something called trust issues with the people, because you find some people will say, if these people are the one who are forcefully, of course, wanting to remove Rigathi Gachagua, and they don't have any reason, because remember, the people are the one who has this power, not these members of parliament. So these members of parliament who signed the impeachment motion of Rigathi Gachagua, 291 of them, who are coming out to request for more security, they do understand what happened, and they might pass the same thing. Listen to the so-called Farah Maalim. But before you do that, ladies and gentlemen, just do me a favor, ensure you like the video. When you like the video, you automatically support the work that I'm doing. So I'm just reminding you, if you're watching the video, at the same time, ensure you like the video. I will appreciate you so much for that like. Let us listen to Farah Maalim.
Mr. Speaker, I also join the other colleagues in this, but I've just one very important, most important in this country to raise. Not only do we have to protect the lives of 291 members of parliament who have appended their signature there, we must also protect the system. The IG must protect our president to the hilt. Because you know the kind of a constitution we have. Any reckless thug can decide to change the course of history if, God forbid, anything were to happen to our president. You get my point? And there are people who we have been so worried lately. I get the feeling that they can even have the capacity to plan something like that. Let us make sure this information goes out. Our president must be protected to the hilt until this motion is over. Because if, God forbid, anything were to happen, then we have something much bigger to worry about.
Thank you.
And those guys are...
You're the last on that.
So for me, I think these members of parliament who rejected signing the impeachment motion of Rigathi Gachagua, they're just trading on their lane. They don't want any problem, you know, with anyone. Because remember, if Ndindi NYORO is not talking, if Babu Owino is not talking about the impeachment motion of Rigathi Gachagua, the same to Peter Salassi and others, you know, 10 of them. Remember, we are having 10 of them who never signed. And remember, when you have 58 members of parliament who never engage themselves with this impeachment motion, remember we are having 10, remains 48. And these 48 of them, they are quiet. So it means that these members of parliament, who are 291 of them, hao ni watu wana move na rende. Yani, ni wale, they move with wave. Ikikuja wanapitanga nayo. But if you ask them today, why are you impeaching Rigathi Gachagua? They will tell you Rigathi Gachagua is corrupt. Rigathi Gachagua is tribal, you know. But the question is, everyone in this parliament, they are tribal. Bigger percentage of them, they are corrupt. So you cannot tell me a cow calling on a cow calling his fellow colleague a cow. Himself, he is a cow. Calling his fellow colleague a cow. So it doesn't make sense. A thief shouting to his fellow colleague, you're a thief. So you are impeaching someone because he's tribal. Number two, he's a thief. He has exploited the public resources on his benefit. But we're having members of parliament who are using CDF money to build luxurious home, have cars, you know, invest with our money. But no one is questioning them. So I think it will be so biasness if we come out to say that they are clean. That is why wanasafisha njia. It is not true. They are also dirty. So I don't think if this is necessary. And that is why you can see several members of parliament, like Ndindi NYORO, is leading the team against this impeachment motion. So the demand, maybe from Statehouse, was that these members of parliament unite and kick out Rigathi Gachagua. But some, like Ndindi NYORO, are distancing themselves from this impeachment motion. Ladies and gentlemen, what do you think? Drop your opinion at the comment section below. Otherwise, thank you so much because of your great support. Please consider subscribing, liking, commenting, and sharing this video. Bye-bye till we meet in another video.